everybody as part of voting in this initiative. So Kennedy and Braxton, come behind me. Y'all ready? Kennedy, Braxton, Kennedy. All right. Now, baby girl Kennedy, guys, y'all give it up a round of applause for her. 7 years old, and this is my 6-year-old Braxton Scarbrough. Are y'all ready?
Yeah!
Let's do it. 2, 4, 6, 8. Register to vote. Don't you wait. 2, 4, 6, 8. November 3rd. Don't be late. 2, 4, 6, 8. Register to vote. Don't you wait. 2, 4, 6, 8. November 3rd. Don't be late. 7, 8, 9, 10. All you need is a form and a pen. 7, 8, 9, 10. All you need is a form and a pen.
Kennedy Scarbrough. I'm Braxton Scarbrough, and I can't wait until my 18th birthday.
Why?
Because I want to vote.
All right.
When I turn 18, I'm going to register to vote.
Why?
It is my right. It is your right.
Why do you want to vote?
Vote.
What do you want to do?
Vote.
What do you want to do?
Vote.
Scarbroughs, what do you want to do?
Vote.
All right, give it up for Braxton and Kennedy. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much for coming out. It's a great organization, great day, and everything turned out really good. And thank you for the weather. Thank God for the weather. So I want to talk to you real briefly before I make an introduction. And State Representative Joyce Springer. Is she around? Y'all give it up for Joyce Springer right over here. Well, she alluded to something earlier. Did y'all hear her speech? And she kind of spoke a little about, she told you that maybe I would share a little something that took place with me. Hey, Julie. Hey, everybody, give it up for Julie. Well, I'm going to share something with you I've never shared. And it's something that I think may be meaningful to many of you in the audience. So I'm going to share. I am a man. You see the signs?
Yeah.
I am a black man. I hold a bachelor's degree from Philander Smith College, a master's degree from Floyd A&M University, another MBA master's degree in Orlando, University in Orlando. I also hold a Juris Doctorate, a law degree. Now, I'm not saying that because I want to put my ego boast. There's somewhere I'm going with this. After telling you that, I'm still a black man. And I have a story to share with you to show that no matter sometimes how hard you work in life, and no matter who you are, there are obstacles that are insurmountable that can still happen to you. One day, many years ago, I had an opportunity to travel with the late John Walker, and he and I went to Louisiana. Y'all remember Gina 6? Y'all remember that we were fighting for Gina 6 and we marched. And there was something he said to me. He said that one day, Deshaun, you have to be careful because you never know the same situation can happen to you. And it didn't hit me right then. I thought, well, this is Mr. Walker being overprotective. You know, I know him real good. He's watching over me. But then one day, while driving, and I know the media is here, so listen to what I'm saying. While driving in a city, I didn't say which one, a city right here in Arkansas, I was a passenger in a vehicle, and I was taking some coloring books to a school. In that city, I didn't think anything of it, but we were just being courteous and giving them some coloring books and giving an opportunity for kids to have coloring books. Well, I was riding, and the gentleman that was with me was driving, and we were maintaining the speed limit throughout this city. And as we began to ride, I'll never forget, it was a 4-door white Camry. It wasn't my car, it was his car. And I looked in the rearview mirror, and I noticed a car speeding up very rapidly. It was an unmarked vehicle. Shortly, I saw another one come from another direction. So I didn't think anything of it because we were almost out of the city. We had maybe about 3 miles left. So I said, well, it couldn't be us, you know, they're looking for whatever. As we were driving, the lights came on. And when the lights began to turn on, I began to get nervous. Now, how many of y'all know about being nervous when you pulled over?
Yes, well.
We have African and a black man in here. Do you know about being nervous when a car pulls? Well, a black woman, do you know about being nervous
Yes.
when a car is pulled over that you're in? So I didn't know what to expect, but the car then pulled us over and yelled on the speaker for the driver to stop the vehicle. Guys, y'all know right about then, I'm shaking. I'm wondering, like, hey, what's going on? We start to immediately blame each other. I'm looking at him, what you do? he's looking at me like, what I did? So, as the car was pulled over, the intercom comes on and they begin screaming in a high-pitched voice, the officers. And they said, hey, get out the car. Turn the engine off. He turned the engine off. They asked him to throw the keys out. He threw the keys out the window. They asked him to keep his hands out of the window. They asked me to keep my hands out of the window. I then proceeded to do exactly what they asked me to do. Remember, kids, in situations like that, you want to stay calm. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you become agitated, where you would agitate the officer, is what we're taught. I have partners, PCSO, and they do training on that. So we wanted to make sure everybody stayed calm. Well, the officers were a bit more agitated than we were. They began yelling and telling them to get out the car. As we walked backwards, I'll never forget, I never had to do this because I've never been put at gunpoint. We stepped backwards and they put my arms behind my back. They put his arm behind his back. And they would remind you in this position. So as I turned around, I was now able to see and visualize what was in front of me. Now, for those who know me, I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes you don't want to hear it, but I'm going to be honest with you. Joy Springer, am I telling the truth? As I looked around, there were about 15 or 20 guns pointed at me. Pointed dead at me. So I'm thinking to myself, we're already nervous. But what if something were to drop off my head? What if he was to make a wrong move? Because I didn't really know the driver. But what if he were to make a wrong move? Or someone to say gun? We would have been lit up. This proceeded and went on, and then one of the officers came close to me. And as he walked up close to me, he said, I'll never forget, he asked why were we in the city? He then grabbed my driver's license out of my pocket, because remember I was fettered, I was handcuffed. He grabbed my driver's license, and I was so mad that I didn't want to say anything. You know, you ever be so mad that you just quench in and just be quiet, and it's almost, you get emotional, where you're almost about to just wet, but you got to stay strong. Well, he grabbed my license and he began to read the license. He stopped dead in the middle of about to ask me another question, which was, why are you, and he stopped. I would like to think that God allowed him to read my name on my driver's license. He then stopped and walked over to his other officer, who was about 5 feet from him. Now, I don't call myself names. I'm known by many things, but I don't call myself names. Usually it's a commissioner or executive director. But I could hear him 5 feet away say, mover and shaker. Big shot from Little Rock. He then proceeded to talk to the other officer, and the officer rushed over to what I perceived to be the captain. The captain rushed over, they showed him my driver's license, and I could hear them talking, saying that they saw me and heard my name from the newspaper. The captain came over and immediately rushed over to uncuff me. And as he uncuffed me, there was no apology. But they said that there was suspicious behavior, and there was a call about an unmarked white vehicle, the same make and model, ironically, that had just robbed the bank. Is that right, Joy? Joy pulled the FOI on it and everything. So when they found out who I was blessed to be in that situation of who I was with little notoriety, but it could have gone another way. The faster they drove in to pull guns on me, that's how fast it took for them to leave when they grabbed my license.
Amen.
I was blessed because at that time, as you saw Kennedy and Braxton, this was sometime before they were born. And I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet my children. Or I wouldn't have had, they could have gone left where I didn't have an opportunity to be with my wife or my son, who was young at that time and didn't have an opportunity, would have grown up without a father. It could have been a crazy situation, but I was blessed to be able to have the opportunity for God to show favor on me, to allow that to happen. Because I never had been put at gunpoint before. Well, I say that to say that no matter how educated, no matter who you are, sometimes being a black man is still a situation where you just don't know what's going to happen before you. So I say that to say, oftentimes, for anyone that's pulled over, it's always okay to maintain a level head. Don't get agitated and allow the officers to conduct their job. Because most importantly, I'm in the middle of a city where no one knew me other than a newspaper article. I could have been one of those individuals that didn't make it to my house and didn't get a chance to visit with my family. And I say that to say that it's very important, guys, to make sure that you communicate thoroughly and be responsible. Sometimes not having attitude. Sometimes attitude is not always by the way you act. Sometimes it has to do with the way that you think and or perceive things. So it's very important. I thank you so for the opportunity. But that went on for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes outside in the heat around this time. And before I knew it, 20 minutes was up. Which leads me to my next segue. 8 minutes
Yes.
and 46 seconds.
Yes.
8 minutes and 46 seconds. Today is about kicking off the nonpartisan effort of an educating, empowering, and inspiring voters. We want this to be a springboard to teach you all the importance of voting as a result of the last Arkansas voter turnout. It was very low. I need your help. This is why I came out to partner with the ACLU. Where are you? Give them a round of applause. The NAACP. Give them a round of applause. Scott Hamilton, where are you? Urban League. Where is Scott? Y'all look for the helicopter. He's somewhere. There he is. The Urban League. Arkansas Better Dads. Pastor Jumper. Give him a round of applause. The Little Rock Police Department. Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. These are the individuals that make a difference. They are with us behind the scenes. Sometimes, I want you to realize, officers aren't always bad guys. These are a lot of good people, and a lot of good people do community policing. And we're right here in the community. The Arkansas Martin Luther King Jr. Commission partners with these organizations all over the state. And we always have good presentations by them. So please stop it right now. Just give them a round of applause. Okay, to my next segue. 8 minutes, 46 seconds. A gentleman by the name of George Floyd changed the universe. And when I say the universe, not just the United States. We had folks marching from Berlin, London, Paris, where else? Germany.
All over
It made a difference, and he created a movement. Amish community, Hispanic community. It made a difference. I tell people all the time, I can't tell you how it is to be a Hispanic. No more than a Hispanic can tell a Caucasian how to be a Caucasian. No more than a Caucasian can teach me how to be a black man. No more than I can tell a pregnant woman in labor how to give a baby. I just can't tell you what it's like if I haven't been in that area. So it's important that we all get along. We all create a two-way dialogue. We all understand each other through our races, and we speak without offending and listen without defending. We take the opportunity to hear one another. And that's what today is about. Promoting change, promoting voting, giving you the opportunity to get out. We have Terry Hollingsworth and Deborah Mitchell over here. Wave, Deborah. Deborah, I've been knowing her for a long time, and she's always said to me, help people, teach people to vote for people, not just because they look like you, but because they think like you. You want voters to be able to change the world through your perception and become a change agent and allow you to matriculate in your endeavors by assisting the voting process. So help me help you. Help the young people. Help my children, your children, with the voting initiative.